Hello, everybody. What's up? And we are back with more One Piece on the channel, and we are going to discuss the latest chapter, chapter 1054. So let's get right on to it. So this is a really big chapter because it addresses a lot of things that have been in the woodworks for years and years in terms of One Piece history. Like, for example, the One Piece. And in this chapter, we finally get some confirmation that a character is actually trying to get it. Like he actually stated it. Let's go and get the damn One Piece, right? And this is something that, although it seems pretty obvious at first, nobody's actually trying to get it actively because they're all trying to get the poneglyphs and whatever, right? But there's so many stuff in the way, and finally a character came up and said, to hell with it, I am going to get this shit. And so that's one of the things. The other one is, well, the character responsible for it, Shanks. And this chapter, we finally get to see Shanks really involved with the story, and it really feels like this is going to be his year, or this is going to be his saga, or this arc that we are going to go into now is going to be more about Shanks, right? And this is something Oda stated, I think, last year or at the beginning of the year, that this is going to be the year of Shanks, and it should be. Like, we already got rid of three Yonkos, and the last one standing is Shanks. Obviously, we have newer Yonkos, but Shanks represents, like the old generation of Yonkos. So yeah. So this chapter was insane because we got confirmation that Shanks is outside in the outskirts of Wano, and he is like, he and his crew are like debating whether or not he should go and see Luffy, because Luffy is already a great pirate. So this is a really good time to go and see him, especially because he might need a little bit of help with the whole Admiral thing, right? And so we're gonna get into that later. But the thing is that when it comes to what Shanks is gonna do now, he just goes and tells his crew, like, nah, we got more important things to do. Bartolomeo is, screwing with our territory, so we should do something about it. I'm like, what? Bartolomeo? What is that like? Is that a serious threat? And so he just decides to leave. But there's obviously something hidden. There's something Oda is setting up. Maybe I think there's something kind of sinister, but at the same time kind of interesting. It could be something good, it could be something bad, but why doesn't Shanks want to go see Luffy? Like, we all know that Shanks, he knows what's up with his devil fruit. We know that Shanks knew what Luffy was capable of all along, and possibly he is the one that talked about Luffy with the Gorosei. So, what is going on, right? Like, what is Shanks plotting? Does Shanks' final goal for Luffy is to Luffy, to fight him? Because it's funny, because, like, for the longest time, like, Shanks doesn't have any reason whatsoever to fight Luffy or to be at odds with him. But now he decides to go get the One Piece, So this is like, he is giving Luffy a reason to, like, maybe fight or, I don't know, surpass him. So it's kind of interesting, but at the same time kind of sad, because, dude, just go and see Luffy. He's there. Why do you have to make everything so complicated? Like, just be happy, go and see him, and whatever, right? And I don't know. I just, like, damn, you're outside and they need your help. There's an admiral. Like, it's funny because, oh, this is the place where Odin was, where people were held slaves for years. And Odin, a person who sailed the seas with me and my captain, and I didn't do shit whatsoever to help him. And now that it's finally free because my protege Luffy freed everybody, now there's an admiral there trying to destroy everything he has done, and I'm just gonna be here like, you know what? I gotta go. What the hell? And but you know what? It's okay because he may have some good reasons. Yasop, you are a bitch. Let me tell you something. Yasop in this chapter, he really is a piece of shit because at the very least, Shanks can, he has somewhat of a, Shanks can decide whether or not to see Luffy, and it really doesn't matter, and you can't really blame him if he wants to see him or not. But Yasop, he goes like, "Oh, I'm not ready to see Usopp. Yeah, the child you abandoned, right, with a dying mother, you piece of shit." I'm like, "What's your excuse now, right?" And so, yeah, so Shanks was there. We get confirmation that he goes like, "Hey, back, should we go and finally get the One Piece?" And I'm like, "What the fuck?" So that was really really cool. We also get to see a little bit of what's happening in Wano with Grimbo, Ryokuyu, I think he's called, right. He is fighting against the Scabbards. He is fighting against Yamato, and lastly, he is also fighting um against Momonosuke, right? And they're all trying to defend Wano. Even so, even more now because of the fact that Wano is finally free, and it's like, dude, why are you coming here to basically enslave us after we just got freed from the last dictator that was here, right? And so it's very crazy right now, and we get to see a lot of Ryokuyu's character and the way he thinks and his philosophy. And it's really weird because when we met Ryokuyu back at partially met, right, when we saw him back at the Reverie, he seemed like a really cool dude. The way Oda drew his silhouette, he was smiling. He seemed like a person that's really, not materialistic, a person that's really, like a free spirit, because of the fact that he also mentioned that he doesn't eat anything. Obviously, we know now that he just uses his devil fruit to maybe absorb nutrients, so that's why he might, doesn't need to eat anything. But when we met him, he really seemed like a really really chill guy, and that is not the case. It's just the complete opposite. Ryukuyu doesn't believe in free will. Ryukuyu is a person who really believes in that the world is set up in a way, the natural order of things, hierarchies. He believes that the world, that, that he has this mentality where everything is set up in a way, and if you don't adapt, then you are the problem. And so if you don't adapt to the world government and you don't decide to live by those rules, then you are the problem. You are weak. You don't have space here. You don't have human rights. And we know that's bullshit. That shouldn't be the case. People should just be free, right? That is in fact, I'm so interested in seeing him meet Luffy, because Luffy is just the exact opposite of that. Luffy believes in free will, in being a free spirit, and choosing your own destiny, and that you don't have to live your life to fit into the mold of a hierarchy or in society. This is a really complex topic, and it's not that hierarchies are inherently bad in a way, but we are humans. We go even, deeper than that, and we shouldn't just settle with the fact that although sometimes nature and the way we set up our societies, sometimes we set it up with hierarchies, it shouldn't be set in stone. And so Ryokuyu is very, very keen on just like this, very totalitarian way of ruling and just living life. And he really, to the point where if he has to kill a bunch of innocent people, like, he doesn't care because they're not part of the system he lives by. And so that's really fucked up. That's really fucked up. This guy is basically a Nazi. He's horrible, right? So we see Ryokuyu, he's fighting. We get to see more of his character, and I really love his character because, yeah, he is a dick, but this is very interesting for the story, and maybe he's gonna get some character development. I'm really also interested in seeing Smoker, how he reacts to Ryokuyu's way of being, and what about Aokiji, right? No wonder Ryokuyu is very, he like looks up to Sakasuki and wants to, be his like right hand man, because he really shares a lot of his ideas, right? And so the whole thing with Ryokuyu and the Scabbers, Yamato was really good. But then we get to the good shit, and we get a lot of just bombshells in this chapter. We get to know that apparently, Koga, Bibi's father, Cobra, he was apparently murdered by Sabo, and that Sabo has become something of an icon throughout the world, like the face of revolution, on par with Dragon. Obviously, this is, a setup by some news outlet, possibly the world government or IM, because obviously Sabo wouldn't do any of that. They did, however, fight the admirals and saved Kuma. Also, apparently, Vivi has gone missing. Um, like, I don't know about Cobra. I don't think he's dead because, you know Oda is really, really not good at killing characters. He really hates it. He really doesn't like to kill characters. He's not gonna kill such a major character off screen like that unless we get a flashback. And even so, we haven't seen a body. We didn't see how it happened. So yeah, I'm not sure. I think Cobra's alive. I think Vivi is alive. Obviously, it's possibly, something that was set up to respond to the revolutionary army's attack on the reverie. So that was really, really interesting. And also, it seems like Sakasugi is, prepping up for war. So we might finally see that big war that has been teased throughout One Piece. And so yeah, that's basically it for the chapter. There are a lot of, little bits and pieces, like things that happen with some of the celestial dragons, like Charlotte, what's his name? Yeah, there are a few details that I'm possibly missing out, but I just wanted to get this video out there, this review. 1054 was just insane. So many bombshells, characters that we have been waiting for so long to appear, and points of the story that have been there for like more than a year, like for 2 or 3 years. When was Reverie? Like 3 years ago, 4 years ago? I don't even remember. And it's like we're finally getting to know what the hell happened. Because I bet you that when you speed read Wano and the Reverie, it all seems like it happened really fast, and it actually did. But we've been stuck on Wano for like 3 or 4 years, so it's been crazy, right? And so One Piece, it's finally getting into a phase that is completely unknown for us, right? Because when One Piece went into the post time skip era, we more or less knew where they were going. They arrived at Palm Hazard, and we got an idea what was in the woodworks. We knew that um Wano was going to be a thing, Kaido was going to be a thing, and Big Mom as well. But now I don't know where we're going. There's a lot of things we know that have to happen, like the Land of the Giants, the possibly like a war against the Marines, Blackbeard. But there's like how it's gonna happen is really unknown. And so I'm really excited for the future of One Piece. And I think we still have a lot of content to go. So even though One Piece might be in its final stages, yeah, final stages. This arc took like 3 years or so to complete. So we still have a ton of One Piece left. So yeah, I'm really satisfied with the story. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.